Hey everyone, it's Cher and this is Share and Tell. In this video, I'll be telling you about the craziness and goodness of teaching 5th grade. So stay tuned. Okay, so I'm a 5th grade teacher. I'm going into my 3rd year of teaching 5th grade. And I have to tell you, when I was looking for a teaching job, I was not trying to do 5th grade just because I remember how wild they were when I was in the 5th grade. And then also subbing from school to school, it seemed like the 5th grade was always the worst group of kids. Even though I worked with 7th graders, 8th graders, those were always okay. I was okay with the 7th and 8th graders, but the 5th graders were just too much to handle. I don't know why. I don't know if it was that middle child syndrome. They're not the youngest kids, but they're not the oldest kids. I don't know quite what it is. But fast forward, I wind up getting a job in the 5th grade, teaching the 5th grade. And I have to say, I love it. I love this age group. I was afraid of it, but now that I'm in it, I don't see myself doing anything else. So I want to share with you the craziness and the goodness of 5th grade. I have 7 points for each. So let's go ahead and get started. Of course, I got to get my glasses first. Let me get my glasses and we will get started. Okay. So craziness number 1. Attitude. Oh my goodness, these kids give you so much attitude, especially the girls. The girls, they roll their eyes, they have slick remarks, they can be so disrespectful and so rude. It's really, I'm telling you, you have to have so much patience, extra patience for these kids, because it can get really, really bad with the attitude. Whew, yeah, I'm just thinking about it, and it's just like getting me hot all over again, getting me upset. So yes, expect attitude. Number 2, craziness number 2, puberty. Okay, these kids are starting to go through puberty. I've had girls that got their first menstrual cycle in my class. We had to handle that. And boys, they're not as much. They're going through puberty too, but it's not as obvious. But what you will notice with the boys is body odor. Body odor can be pretty bad with the boys, and I've had to pull a couple boys to the side and say, hey, you know what, stuff is happening with your body. We gotta really be on top of the hygiene. I've spoken to the nurse about, just let's make this a team effort to get these kids, taking care of their bodies, because their bodies are changing rapidly and they probably don't realize that they're giving off the body odor that they are. So, that's something else that comes with teaching 5th grade, the puberty, all the changes in their bodies. The boys, their voices start to change at the end of the school year. It always blows me away. I'm like, oh my goodness, I can't believe your voice is changing. It's starting to crack, and you can hear like the depth is coming in. And I always lose my mind because I'm like, oh my goodness, you were a little baby when you came to me. Now your voice is transitioning into grown manhood. I'm not ready for this. Okay. So that's definitely something, the craziness of 5th grade. Number 3. Craziness number 3, they can be so mean to each other. Oh my goodness, the things that they say and do. Sometimes they form cliques. The things that oh my goodness, they can be so mean. They talk about everything. Talk about the type of phone you have, the type of sneakers you're wearing, how your hair looks. They can be so mean to each other. So that kind of goes back to what I was talking about with attitude. The first one, I was talking about attitude with the teacher. But number 3, when I'm talking about them being mean, I'm talking about them being mean to each other. It can get really nasty, to the point, you have to get other adults involved. You got to call parents. You got to get guidance counselor, principal. Like, it can get really, really bad with how nasty and mean they are to each other. I mean, harassment, harassment, intimidation, and bullying is real. You see a lot of that in the 5th grade. So, just one thing to look out for. Number 4. Woo! Craziness number 4. They love to talk. This is a very talkative age group. It's hard to get them to stop talking. As they get older, they're more, social, and they're more alert to their environment, things that's going on in the world or just in their own personal lives. They love to talk. They talk about video games. They talk about whatever, everything except what they should be talking about, which is the work in front of them. Well, sometimes they do talk about the work, but they talk about everything. And then what I noticed too is that they talk except when I need them to talk. So if I'm asking a question, everybody's quiet. I'm like, oh, everybody's quiet now. What happened to when you were talking forever and ever ago? Like 10 minutes ago, you couldn't stop talking. Now I'm asking a question and nobody knows how to talk anymore. Really, guys? All right. Craziness number 5, babies and groanies. Now, what do I mean by this? With 5th grade, you have such a wide range of emotional development. You have the ones that are still babies. They're still so innocent, still so, like childish in their ways. And then you got the other group of kids that just want to be grown so bad. They really think they're hot stuff because they're double-digit age now. They're 10 now. They feel like they're hot stuff. Nobody can tell them anything. So it's a huge spectrum of like kids, their emotional development. So be prepared for that. And then you got the ones in the middle that they choose which one they want to be based on what's convenient for them. So sometimes they'll be the baby, and sometimes they'll be the groanie. It depends on what they want to be at that moment, what benefits them at that moment. Sometimes it benefits them at that moment to be a baby, and other times it benefits them to be a groanie. You will see a lot of that with 5th graders. Number 6, speaking of groanies, inappropriate comments / conversations. Oh my goodness, some of the things that you overhear these kids talking about, or even things that they write about, if you catch them passing notes, some of the things that you see them writing, if you ever happen to be walking past and you overhear them talking about something, you're like, what in the world? They make very inappropriate comments. They talk about a lot of inappropriate things. They draw inappropriate pictures. I won't get into detail, but I've seen some things, okay? And these kids are exposed to so much more than kids in the past. So they know a lot. And so a lot of times, their comments can be very perverted. I'm just going to say what it is. And even myself as a teacher, I have to be careful what I say, because I know it could turn into something perverted. For example, if a student was to ask me, Miss Pierre, do we have to do number 7 too? And I say, yes, you have to do it. She said do it. Oh my gosh, she said do it. And you know what they're talking about. So instead of saying do it, I say, yes, you do have to do number 7. This way, it cuts back on all them trying to turn my comment into something perverted, okay? You're going to learn the lingo, what to say, what not to say around this age group, because certain things that you say, they're going to take it so to another level. They're going to make it perverted. And, that sounds negative. Why are you saying that? Did you hear what she said? My goodness. This age group, you say words like dictionary. Oh my God, she said dictionary. Ha! They think it's so funny, okay? I'm not going to have you stop me from saying dictionary. Dictionary is a book. It's a resource. Yes, we use a dictionary. If you're going to take it perverted, that's a problem. Okay. So be prepared for that with 5th graders. And craziness number 7, dating. They date. Yes, 5th graders like each other. They start going together. You're going to notice certain people are liking each other. They get a little cozy. They always got to sit together. They always got to walk through the halls together. So be prepared for that. I'm not shocked, but at the same time, it is something that I need to keep an eye out for. Make sure you observe these kids, and whatever there's going on, please make sure there's adult supervision at all times, because I just don't trust them. I'm sorry, I just don't. Most of them I don't trust. All right, so those are the 7 crazinesses of teaching 5th grade. So let me go into the 7 goodnesses. I don't even know if these words are real words. Crazinesses, goodnesses. Most likely they're not, but that's okay. So goodness number 1. This age group is super duper independent. They're very independent. I don't have to worry about tying shoes. I don't have to worry about all the things that younger children need help with. This age group is so independent. They do a lot on their own. They're very, 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 what's the word I'm looking for? Self-sufficient in the classroom. I give them directions. They follow. Of course, that's not a perfect scenario. They're not always going to follow 100%, but for the most part, I don't have to keep explaining, keep training. They got it. And I love how independent they are. This is a plus for sure with 5th grade. Number two, they love to help. Goodness number two, they love to help. Love to help. They always looking for a way to help. And I appreciate it. So if I have 25 kids in my room, I have 25 assistants. Trust me, they love to help. Anything. Miss Pierre, can I staple? Can I put some stuff up on your bulletin board? Can I sweep? Can I clean the tables? They're always looking for some way to help. I had a student the previous school year stay after school on Fridays because he was like, Miss Pierre, I want to clean. I'm like, knock yourself out, my friend. Go ahead. He swept, he cleaned the tables, he did so much for me. I'm like, they love to help, you know what I mean? And I'm not gonna turn it down. Thank you so much, you know. Number three, their reasoning skills. Oh, I love their reasoning skills. You can have such mature conversation with this age group. They are aware of a lot. They're starting to be more aware of the world around them, like I said earlier. So you can have a lot of good conversation with this age group. They teach me so much, and the way that they think, the way that they analyze stuff, I'm like, wow, that's really, really cool. So and this is great because when they do something wrong, they have the reasoning skills. You can reason with them why it was wrong. So I don't find myself calling parents a lot with this age group because we talk and I'm like, okay, you need to explain to me why I'm not okay with that, why that was not okay. And they'll tell you too. And they'll say, okay, what can we do to make sure this doesn't happen again in the future? And they'll tell you. So I appreciate that they have some great reasoning skills. Goodness number four, they're still moldable / impressionable. Like I just talked about the reasoning skills, this is a great combination. The fact that they have reasoning skills and they're still impressionable at the same time, this is excellent. So there's a lot of room for growth with this age group. You'll see that, they really do pay attention to everything that you say and do. They're still very impressionable. They're still kids. What is a 10-year-old, 11-year-old? Come on, you're still a child, you know? So I appreciate that a lot about this age group. And I know you will too if you're going into the 5th grade. Number five, they're still affectionate. Very affectionate still, even though they're older. Some of them are bigger than me. I've had 5th graders that are my height or taller, and then I had little ones that you thought was still in 3rd grade, you know. But even, as big as they could be, as big as a 5th grader could be, they're still so affectionate. They leave you notes. I love you. You're my best teacher. You're the best teacher ever. Thank you for teaching me. I appreciate you. Sometimes they just give you a hug randomly, just jump on you. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I didn't expect that from 5th graders. But like I said, their emotional development is so across the board. Some of them still want a really good hug from you. And, they initiate it. They jump and they just want to give you a hug. Oh, thank you so much. You're so sweet. Very affectionate still. I think that's a really good part of teaching 5th graders. Number 6, seeing them mature. The things that they used to do when they first came in, the things that they do when they first come in September, to see how they mature throughout the school year, it is so satisfying to see how these kids really, really mature along the way, whether it's emotionally, socially, academically. They mature in so many ways. And sometimes they'll just be honest. They'll be like, man, I was so mean last year. I was so mean in the 4th grade. This year I'm so much better. Or I've had kids say, I used to hate writing. Now I love writing. They mature so much. It's such a pleasure to see how much they grow, their personal growth. And I'm just like, oh my goodness. That's a joy for me teaching 5th grade. That's definitely a goodness. And number 7, the goodness number 7, seeing them graduate / move up. So in my school, 5th grade is the last grade. So, we do have a moving up ceremony every year. And to see the kids, move up, it is emotional for me because I'm like, wow, we really did it. This was tough. This was rough. We wanted to quit many times, but we made it to the end. And I'm always so excited to see how, to see them on that day so well dressed, to see their parents, all the family members and things there to support them. And I'm not gonna lie, I be crying. I really cry, like either close to the day or the day of. I really cry because I'm like, oh my gosh, like we really made it. We worked hard and we made it here. So that's another goodness of teaching 5th grade, watching them transition into that middle school phase of their lives. And then just calculating in your head, like, where it's gonna go from here. It's a nice thing, nice feeling. One of the bitter moments of moving up ceremony for me is that once they get out of the 5th grade, most likely I will not see them again. So it's probably our last time ever seeing each other, you know, because they're going on to a different school. They might not come through this way, through, you know, past by our elementary school. A lot of times the parents move. So many different things happen that make it where we will never see each other again. But, you know, at least I got to have that moment, the moving up ceremony. So that's the bittersweet part of moving up, is just like, you may not see them again. But yes, so these are the 7 crazinesses, don't know if it's a word, I don't think so, and the 7 goodnesses of teaching 5th grade. If you are going into the 5th grade, these are some things that you can expect. I'm sure there's way more, but of course I can't cover every little thing. So if you have any questions about teaching 5th grade, comment below, let me know. If you're a 5th grade teacher, did I touch on everything? Or is there something you have to add to the craziness and the goodness of teaching 5th grade? Let me know, comment below. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'd appreciate a like, a comment, a subscription to help a growing channel. And of course, I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Bye.